Hello, this is CJ, and I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that this episode is one of the best episodes of the series, if not the best episode. I am super, super excited to talk about it, especially because this is my first time seeing Sailor Pluto presented in Sailor Moon Crystal. I actually stopped in the first season at episode 18 because I was so disappointed with it, so this is really, really exciting for me. The bad news is that I'm not going to be on this channel for the next 3 to 4 episodes. I am going to miss 3 to 4 episode reviews starting now. Unfortunately, I have an event coming up. I'm just not going to be able to do it. I won't have access to my computer, my camera, or my video editing software. To make up for this, I will be making blog posts on my website, Our Inked Obsession. The blog post might not come out the day of the episode, so please be patient. I do have a lot going on, but I will be putting them up there as a way to make it up to you guys, because I know a lot of you guys really care about my opinions. I know that I'm basically one of the only YouTube reviewers that actually makes legit comparisons between the manga version and this new anime version. If there's another one, please put them in the comments below. I would love to hear about them. And don't hyperlink them. If you include a URL to their channel, YouTube might accidentally remove your comments. So just put their name and let people know about them. If I'm going to make any recommendations, I highly recommend Sailor Eji Tortilla. She has very good reviews. They're very funny. She doesn't make comparisons between the manga and this new version, but I still think they're very worthwhile. Definitely check her out. With that out of the way, let's get started with my review of Episode 32, Act 31, Infinity 5, Setsuna, Mio, Sailor Pluto. These titles are ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Let's get started with the good, and ultimately, why this episode is the best in Sailor Moon Crystal so far. So, in Chibiusa's class in the manga, they make these, the clay, structures, basically carrying over from last episode when, Mamoru, Usagi, and Chibiusa made the Holy Grail clay structure. And I just wanted to point this out because this made me laugh. In the manga, the structures kind of look like crap. But in this new show, they all look kind of nice. Like, they look very presentable, like something that would be, I don't know, sold in a gift store. That was just something I noticed that was kind of funny. But it goes into this next point, which is why I didn't put it in the meh section. It's very obvious that Kyusuke likes Chibiusa. In the manga, you can kind of tell, but here they add some of Chibiusa's classmates in the background, snickering and laughing as he gives her the cup, which I thought was a really nice updated change. In the manga, it's kind of hard to tell what's exactly going on, so I really appreciated that update. That was super cute. And then another thing is, I'm sure this has happened before, but I never noticed it until now. They updated some of the outfits that Usagi and her friends wear. Particularly, I noticed they updated Haruka and Michiru's outfit as they're running away from the group. I thought that was pretty cool. The outfits in the manga are okay, but I really like the update. I think that's a really cool adaptation and definitely makes the series feel a lot more modern. And now for my favorite part of this episode. Some serious dialogue was cut from the control room scene and from a scene in Hotaru's house. Now, at this point, you might be saying to yourself, CJ, why would you be excited over cut dialogue? Isn't the manga supposed to be your favorite thing in the world? Well, hear me out, right? So, a lot of people don't realize this, but when Sailor Moon was originally coming out in the manga format, it was coming out on a month-by-month basis. A lot of people complain, a lot of manga readers, that is, complain that when manga comes out on a month-by-month basis, you tend to forget a lot of things. There's, a whole 30 days between chapters, you just will eventually forget. It just happens. It doesn't matter how much you like a series, you're not going to remember everything. Like, for example, every time a new Attack on Titan chapter comes out, I will often go to the previous chapter, reread that, refresh my mind, and then I'll go into the new one, just to make sure that I completely understand what's going on. So, the way a lot of authors fix this, and it's actually something that Naoko Takeuchi actually did on quite a regular basis, is that they would reintroduce characters all the time. They'd say, they'd have a bit of dialogue that'd say, "Hi, I'm Usagi, and I'm a schoolgirl, and guess what? I'm Sailor Moon." Like, a lot of people complained about that kind of stuff in the first season of Crystal, that Usagi kept introducing herself over and over, and kept introducing her friends over and over. But that's actually why, because that comes from the fact that, maybe readers weren't catching up with every single month. Maybe they were getting forgetful after every single month. So, the dialogue that was cut is dialogue we already understand, which is fantastic. It's stuff about the Deathbusters. It's stuff that we already know about Hotaru. I love that. They're actually looking at the manga and thinking to themselves, okay, we need to cut some dialogue, because on a week-by-week basis, on a show where viewers are constantly going to be refreshed with information, we don't need this information repeated so many times. We can cut this, we can move on. I love it! That is amazing! That's great! That's really, really, really smart editing. I'm super, super excited that they did that. And that's why, in my opinion, this episode is one of the best adaptations in the entire series. They did a really, really great job. In fact, actually, I gotta give some kudos to the editing in general. There's a really, really cool scene in the beginning, and unfortunately, because of YouTube crap, I can't show it in video format, where there's this really awesome cut to a daemon. You see the foggy skies of the city, and then it cuts straight to the daemon. That's super, super clever editing. I really, really enjoyed that. And now let's get to the meh. So, a lot of people noticed this last time. I didn't talk about the fact that a new singer was introduced for the opening. And I bet a bunch of you understand why that is. It's because I skipped the opening. I skip the opening all the time. So, I was watching episode 31, and I just skipped that opening and didn't even notice. In fact, and a lot of you are probably wondering, well, CJ, how come you didn't look at any of the comments and see that the opening was switched? How did you not see the hundreds of comments commenting on the fact that they got a new actress to sing that? Well, as I've explained before, I don't read comments before I do these reviews. In fact, I go into them completely fresh, just so my opinion is completely my own, and it's as objective as possible. So, that being said, the singer's alright. She's good. It's the voice actress of Sailor Galaxia, one of my favorite characters from the manga, if not my favorite character, besides Sailor Venus. Misuko Hori. She does a pretty good job. And, I have no qualms with her singing the song. It's just that the song itself is just not that good, so I'm just not interested. I'm sorry. It's just not that good. Not even she can save this. Another meh thing is, in the manga, Sailor Venus compares the actions of the Black Moon to the actions of the Deathbusters. And I was, super excited about a lot of the other dialogue being removed, but this one particular line I was hoping they would keep. And I'm not going to say particularly why. If you've read the manga, you would know, but in a later arc, the final arc, you end up realizing there's a reason why every single villain in Sailor Moon acts the same way. I'm not going to say what that reason is. Please read the manga if you don't know. But I was kind of hoping that a little bit of that foreshadowing would be in this arc. Dropping that line to get the amazing editing of this episode is honestly not a bad trade, but I'm a little disappointed to see it go. Now let's get to the bad! I should clarify, there's really, again, not that much bad in this episode. I mean, really, I'm just nitpicking here. I'm majorly nitpicking. First up, we have some pretty atrocious subtitles again. I will mention them every single time they happen, just because they are awful. They're horrible. But I won't harp on it too much. My, my favorite line of the whole episode is, "Look! Everyone goes down!" I mean, I just don't get how you could possibly write that line and some of the other lines I saw in this episode. Just inexcusable. In the manga, when Hotaru is being bullied by some of the other Mugen students, she takes a pencil case and just crushes it. It's a metal pencil case. It's a pretty astounding feat of power. I didn't like how the anime did this. I think it was a little bit too quick. I think they should have had her, like the manga, raise it up and then just slowly crush it in her fingers, just to emphasize that power. Or maybe, maybe just have her hold it up and just go, like that really quick, but kind of let the scene linger a little bit. I thought the pacing was a little bit off. It went a little too fast for me. But again, nitpicking. The scene is still there. We still understand why that would be disturbing to students to see. So I'm honestly not that bothered by it. Another major nitpick I had is that they used the same exact animation for Talou when she blocked the pink sugar heart attack and when she blocked the moon spiral heart attack. That's kind of a bummer. It was a little bit disappointing. But on the flip side, it was awesome to see her transform into her Daemon form. We haven't seen one of the Witches 5 do that yet. And that's something that a lot of people have been complaining about that's been removed from the manga. So that was super, super cool. In fact, and the other Sailor soldiers were able to use attacks too, which was, again, not in the manga. So that was really, really, really awesome. Overall, I give this episode a solid A. It comes very, very, very close to being an A+. The only thing that's holding it back is, again, those minor nitpicks I was saying. You know, the reuse of animation. There was some animation here and there that didn't look exactly right. But overall, this episode is awesome. I mean, if you would have told me just a year ago that this is where Sailor Moon Crystal was going, I would have never believed you. I mean, straight up would have never believed you. And for it to get amazing on my second favorite arc, Deathbusters, I'm just so happy. I'm so... I don't want to use this word, but I kind of almost have to. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it's this way, and I'm grateful that Sailor Moon fans are coming back to watch this series. There's so much positive discussion in the community. It's great. I mean, everybody wins. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already and you want to, please like and subscribe. As I said before in a previous video, I have started a Patreon, and I put the link in the description below. If you want to support me there, great. If not, you are still an awesome fan, and I really appreciate it. The funds of the Patreon go directly to this channel. As I enter summer and as I go back to school, I won't be able to work as much, so I won't have as many funds as I usually do for this channel, so it would definitely help me out. And there is a pretty cool reward there for manga fans, so definitely check that out. Once again, guys, I am so sorry that I'm leaving this channel for a while. If you want to see my thoughts about Sailor Moon Crystal, I still will be watching the show, and you can find those on our inkedobsession.com. So, once again, this is CJ, signing off.